All right, here we go, everybody. Hello, everybody. Yes, we are here bright and early on this Wednesday afternoon. Matt here with Halloween Daily News, here to interrupt your regularly scheduled programming here on this Wednesday afternoon because we've got our first look at our brand new Munsters today in the form of a teaser trailer released for Rob Zombie's upcoming feature film relaunch of the iconic franchise, The Munsters. Obviously, one of the first families of horror. Not the first exactly, but definitely one of the first and one of the greatest, most iconic franchises in genre entertainment, if you ask me anyway. And one of those shows that so many of us grew up watching in syndication for decades after its initial two-season run. It only ran for two seasons starting in 1964 and 70 episodes, though, in those two seasons. That's the way they did it back then. And all of those episodes, by the way, are currently for free on Peacock. I'm kind of doing a rewatch binge this month because at the end of this month, they go away, or they move to Peacock Premium, I should say. And so if you don't have the paid version of Peacock, you can binge all 70 of them right now, like I'm doing. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a little breakdown of this teaser trailer. And it is essentially a recreation. I mean, this is something I was hoping Rob might do, and he did. It is a recreation of the opening credits sequence from the 1960s series. It's from the opening credits of season 2 of the series, actually. And so I thought it'd be fun to kind of do a comparison of some of his shots matched up with some of the shots from that season 2 opening credits sequence. So we'll do that and we'll take a look at it. And of course, we're live, so I do want to hear your feedback here in the live chat. And if you stumble on this after the fact and missed the live today, because we did just kind of make this decision kind of last minute to go live with this. We're going to do it as a pre-recorded breakdown, but I said let's just go live with this like we did on a couple big trailers and events last year. And I think it's pretty big. This is one of those iconic franchises. So, for all of you here, thank you for joining me today. To any of my regular viewers, any of the Triple M Michael Myers Monday live crew out there, welcome back, guys. Thanks for being here. And to any of our new viewers who have never joined us here on our channel at all, or participated in any of our live streams, because they normally are a little later in the evening, typically, then welcome to all you guys as well. Again, my name is Matt. We are Halloween Daily News. And yeah, we're going to have fun today talking about Rob Zombie's Munsters. All right, I'm going to look over here in the live chat real quick before I get going on our breakdown. Of course, I see my friend David Suber is in here. Loving my shirt. Thank you. Thank you. Never too old to trick or treat. You know, words to live by. Let's see. Ryan Korn is in the house. Awesome. Rock on, brother. Let's see here. Who else has checked in? Halloween Ends updates, of course. Thanks for being here. Who else? Keith has checked in as well. Keith says, I think it looks good, talking about the teaser. All right, we're already getting a lot of y'all's comments and thoughts about the teaser. Obviously, you've watched it by now. That's good. I want you to watch it. We're not going to watch it, per se. This isn't a reaction video. I've already watched it a couple times. But I do just kind of want to go through, and it's pretty short, so we'll go through and kind of compare it, like I said, to the opening that it's based on. And we're also going to take a look at Rob's comments that were published in a new interview released today by Entertainment Weekly. I guess they're not weekly anymore because they're not even in print anymore. Over at EW.com is where the interview is. And we'll be taking a look at his comments where he talks about this cast, which of course obviously includes a lot of Rob Zombie regulars that we know from a lot of his other films, and also the shocking decision to make the feature film in full living color as opposed to black and white. I was kind of hoping it might be black and white, and he actually addresses that in this interview. We're going to get into all of that on this live report, on this HDN Live special report. So again, thank you all for being here. Let's see here. Update says Happy Michael Myers Wednesday. That's good. Derek Richard has checked in. Rickard, excuse me. Jude says, looking forward to the Munsters. Teaser was good, and I like the fact that Rob Zombie has made a PG film finally instead of his usual over-the-top, violent, trashy stuff. This looks fun. Great sets. I can't argue with any of that. I do have to agree with all of that. Keith says the teaser looks good. Rob is a smart guy. He knows what he is doing. He loves the Munsters. Yeah, hopefully you guys caught my previous report. It was kind of a all-encompassing roundup update on this Munsters feature film reboot. And I didn't know that we were going to get the teaser just a few days later when we put that together over the weekend. But I'm happy that we did. And it's, you know, if you missed it, you can find that elsewhere on this channel. But I said there, and I'll say it again, that yeah, I think Rob is the perfect person to direct this. He's a lifelong fan of the series. It informed a lot of what he's done in his career. He's written songs about it. He owns the original Munsters coach from the show. And probably most notably, he's really tight good friends with Butch Patrick. I've seen a few comments on our social media posts today and already in the live chat wondering where Marilyn and Eddie are. They're not in the teaser. And yeah, I'm wondering too. But what we do know, and what I reported on in that previous update, is the fact that Rob has confirmed Pat Priest, who played Marilyn, the second actress to play Marilyn Munster. She is confirmed to be in this film, so that's awesome. We don't know 100% that she's definitely playing Marilyn again and how that would work. But I'm definitely open for it and want to see what they've got in store. And they've not officially announced Butch Patrick's involvement yet. But like I said in our last update on this movie, I really would be shocked if he's not going to be in this. It is known that he is good friends with Rob Zombie. They did a feature-length commentary track together for the recent Blu-ray release of the first Munsters film, Munster Go Home. And right after this project was announced, there was video that Rob put on his social media of him taking Butch for a ride in the Munsters coach. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure as soon as he got this gig, the first phone call he made was to Butch Patrick. They're just saving that for some kind of big reveal. And again, just like with Pat Priest, whether he's definitely going to play like some kind of older version of Eddie or a new character, and whether or not they'll have a new young actor playing our new Eddie, none of that we know at this point or has been announced or confirmed in any case at this point. But as far as Marilyn and Eddie, I mean, they're going to be in it. The legacy actors are going to be in it. And I have no doubt that the characters are going to be in it in some way, in some form. All right. Burkhack Music says, don't forget to put on your mask. That's right. It's almost time, kids. Keith says, Matt and Sean Clark are the encyclopedia on the Halloween franchise. Well, thank you. That's pretty awesome. Ryan says, Halloween Daily News and Sean Clark are my go-to YouTubers for my horror fix. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you. That really means a lot. I totally appreciate that. All right, so we are going to get into this teaser breakdown here. And then we'll take a closer look at this exclusive photo. And we'll look at Rob's comments at that point. And again, you guys feel free to chime in as we go along. Jim, the Joseph Hopper video vlog guy, is in the house. All right, I am seeing some familiar names out there today. Again, I don't expect we'll get a huge crowd. It is a different time than we normally go, and we did not hype this, promote this live stream very much at all today. Just in the last 20-25 minutes, really, is when we scheduled it and made this decision to go. So if you're here, thanks. You're part of a pretty exclusive crowd today, and I appreciate it. And yes, I see the lit jack-o'-lanterns out there. I love it. Hoping that Daniel Harris is cast in Scream 6. Wow, I haven't heard that that idea, but that's an interesting idea. A lot of Scream 6 news here lately. Okay, so here's how it's going to work today. We've got the trailer pulled up, and we've got the original opening credits pulled up. And so we're just going to kind of go through it. It's not a real long teaser, and it's literally just that. It is a teaser. And I was hoping, I said before that I was hoping when this was first announced that Rob might go black and white with it. And again, he addresses that in this trailer and in the in this new interview we'll look at from EW. Excuse me. Excuse me, guys. Let me get a glass of water. All right. And and I was hoping, I don't even think I said it in that previous report, but somebody on Twitter responded that maybe the teaser would be the opening credits, and I responded to that. That would be perfect for me. I'd love to see that. And it did cross my mind as I started this rewatch binge of those original 70 episodes, that would be a cool first teaser, first look. It would be as if he would actually recreate the opening introductions, opening credits from the original series. And that's exactly what he did, albeit it is the opening sequence from season 2. So this is the first thing we see in Rob's teaser released today. And this is, of course, the Munsters' home on 1313 Mockingbird Lane. And if you remember from that previous report, we looked at some photos, and I commented on the fact that Rob has been paying so much attention, thankfully, to detail on this series. And again, I trace it back to he is a huge fan. He grew up watching this in syndication like so many of us did, and he has loved this family, this brand, for his whole life. And he says that this is a lifetime achievement to finally be able to do this movie. This is the one he's been chasing his entire career. And so they shot this over in Hungary, where they created their own neighborhood, and they built from scratch. And we know this because all the progress was posted throughout social media. They built this brand new recreation of 1313 Mockingbird Lane, and Rob shared those photos on his social media of himself at age 14, when he went to Universal Studios and took the tram tour in Hollywood. And he had a photo from that day in '79 of the Munsters house at that time, and also shared a more recent photo from the set. So here's the first thing we see, quite fittingly. It is a shot, the exterior shot, iconic in itself, and you see it so much in that original series constantly. And so here is the opening shot from the original season 2 opening credits. This is from episode 1 of season 2 of the original 1960s The Munsters. That episode was called Herman's Child Psychology, by the way. So, I mean, right away you can see that he pretty much nailed it with the look of 1313 Mockingbird Lane. I mean, you guys tell me what differences you can spot. I mean, the tree, that's very prominent in the first. Well, I'm only in the first half of my first season in my rewatch right now, but you see that tree on the right very prominently in all the exterior shots on the original show. So prominently sometimes I'm almost like, did they want to obstruct your view of the house quite that much? But I always took it that it was just another aspect of just the overgrown, creepy nature of the yard, and it is sort of a twisted, weird-looking tree. So here on Rob's, you can see, maybe this is a few years later because that tree is definitely there, but it's not obstructing that view nearly as much. This time, probably very possibly just because they want to show off this beautiful recreation a little bit more. And I love that the first image and all of these first images we do see are in black and white. I think that's very smart for a number of reasons. I mean, one is going to be that they're going to it's going to immediately tap into people's memory of the classic show. And then, of course, the other is it does show Rob's attention to detail and to his wanting to capture the same vibes and atmosphere as the original show, as much as possible anyway, for a 2022 audience. But yeah, you've got the weather vanes up there. You've got the peaked tops there. All the again, the yard still looks very viney and overgrown, and fittingly creepy. And right down to the smoke coming out of the chimney. You see it there in the original shot, and you see it prominently right there in this first shot from today's teaser. And we're not going to play the music here because we don't want to get hit with a copyright violation, but it is playing the classic theme from the opening of the TV series. And then a little splash of color, quite literally there. A Rob Zombie film comes up in a very familiar font. We can see here. There's the title treatment on the original opening credits. And here comes the new version. The fonts match up, and a little bit of splash of color to start warming us up to the idea that that's going to be the biggest difference in this version, is that it will be in bright living color. And again, we'll address some of those decisions a little bit more in this breakdown. And here is our first official shot of our new Herman Munster in action. He is played by Jeff Daniel Phillips. Halloween fans know Jeff from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. He actually played 2 roles in that film. Might be the only actor to ever play multiple roles in a single. Nope, that's not true. Dick Warlock did that in Halloween 2. So never mind. But he is one of the few that have played more than one role in the Halloween franchise. And he is, of course, a Rob Zombie film regular. He starred in Rob's 31 and many other films. He was in 3 from Hell, Lords of Salem. And many of you may remember seeing Jeff, as I do, on TV for many years as the caveman in the Geico ads. All right, so Herman comes busting through the front door, out the front door, leaving his iconic silhouette crashed through behind him. And here's the original version of that. There's the great Fred Gwynn, and he is so awesome. Again, my rewatch of these episodes have just reminded me what a comedic genius Fred really was in these episodes. I mean, they're all awesome in the old episodes, but man, it really was Herman's show in so many ways. And it's interesting because in those original credits in season 1, Herman comes out last, and it ends with starring Fred Gwynn as Herman. Interesting here that he's the first of the family that we see come busting out this time. All right, let's take a look at the Herman's original movements here before he exits screen. All right, some classic Herman there. Now we'll see Jeff's version. Again, he's getting the nervous, shaky movements. The body type looks pretty good. I mean, Jeff looks a little slimmer than Fred, I would think. And it is just kind of weird seeing just anybody else playing this role. It's almost like seeing anybody other than Boris Karloff as the Frankenstein monster. I mean, they're just so iconic in our brains. But I have a lot of confidence that Jeff is a good choice because he does do well um, under makeup and in character, and he's a very physical performer. And even as Coffins in Halloween 2, is very kind of physical performance, and of course the caveman work and everything. So you guys let me know what you think though about this look of Herman. How accurate do you think it is? All right, I'm going to turn over here to the live chat for just a minute. Let's see. Scrolling back down a little bit. Louis Breland, welcome. Excited for this? Me too. Ethan W. says, I don't know why you remind me of Alex Vincent. You mean Alex Vincent from the Child's Play movies? I do. I guess I'll take that as a compliment. I've met Alex. He's cool. I'm a fan, certainly. Jim, the Joseph Hopper guy. I'm just going to call you Hopper. I want to see this movie. Yep, it's coming this fall, and I do have not a release date, but a bit of release information and clarification from what was even first published this morning. I edited our article since then with some new info that I will get to before we're done here. Glancing back at the live chat real quick. Attila's asking about Dark Harvest, and he never left. I am expecting our first look at Dark Harvest any day now, any time now. I mean, hopefully it doesn't happen while we're live here doing this, but when it does, I will absolutely be here. That will be another HDN Live special event when we break down and discuss our first look at Dark Harvest. Very excited for that. Thank you for asking. And probably the same for He Never Left as well. That's another indie Halloween movie. That's still in production, though. Dark Harvest should be all complete by now, and marketing should be kicking off any time now. Dave wishes Rob built this set in the U.S. where fans could visit it. Oh, I agree. That would have been the coolest if it was something you could actually visit itself. But it was pretty awesome what they were able to do over there in Budapest from what I saw. And Rob has been extremely generous with sharing tons of updates and behind-the-scenes photos throughout the production. David says Rob has the blueprint of the original house. I believe that. Dude says this film might be set in the fall/winter, hence why the trees are less full. Absolutely, I agree. I'm just happy to see that twisted tree there. I mean, it's just the little details, but absolutely, it's not as full. And just knowing Rob, I mean, we don't know that this film is going to have anything to do or be set anywhere around the Halloween holiday, but just knowing Rob, I mean, most of his films are set right around Halloween, so I wouldn't be surprised if they incorporate that. And while we're on the subject of the Munsters in Halloween, I just do want to point out real quick that in my rewatch, I was reminded that the very first episode to air was called Munster Masquerade, and while Halloween was never mentioned by name, and it's not exactly explicitly said that they're going to a Halloween party, the family goes to a masquerade party held by one of the first guy we see dating Marilyn in this episode. And so it's pretty interesting that it's kind of qualifies as a Halloween episode, being their very first introduction to the world. One more reason to be celebrating the return of this family. All right, so now let's go back into this trailer breakdown, and we'll see Sherry's entrance as our new Lily Munster. And you watch those movements. It's very, very much right on point with our original entrance here. As you can see, watch this. Looks both ways. And again, as far as the look, it's always going to look just a little bit weird seeing anybody else in these roles, even in the other films, the made-for-TV films that were released over the years. And when they would have different actors playing the iconic roles, it always is a bit jarring at first. We'll know a little bit more when we can kind of hear their voices, I think, and see a little more action. But I mean, she definitely got the movements down. I love, again, the attention to making sure that she's doing all of the same gestures that the original Lily does in the classic. And she's got the same kind of flowy outfit. That streak of white hair is a little more visible here. And can't see for sure if she's wearing the bat necklace, but I wouldn't be surprised if they work that in somewhere. Burkake says should have recorded it with an old school camera to make it look like the original feel. It's not a bad idea. Dr. Gould says when Fred busts out the door, he tends to look around as if saying, "Oh dear, didn't mean to do that. Oh well." This new Herman seems to be less worried about the damage he did. That's a very accurate observation. I would agree. This new Herman, it seems that he's a little bit worried that he did the damage and kind of already knows that he's going to do that damage. But you're right. That is a difference right there. Ryan Korn says, can't wait for Tim Burton's Wednesday. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I've commented before about how cool it is these two iconic families are both being reborn and reimagined by two of my favorite directors right here this same year in this Halloween season. We're going to be able to see them both back at the same time. It's pretty amazing. You know, it's a lot of people forget, but the Munsters debuted on network TV on CBS just 6 days after the Addams Family premiered on ABC. Keith says Sherry looks like she has it down perfect. Aha, I noticed that too, Dr. Gould. Dr. Gould says when Sherry comes out, she exhales frosty breath, wondering if that was cold on set or if that was CGI breath for a cold fall atmosphere. I did definitely notice that as well, that the first thing you see is that cold breath. We can even go back and look at that again. It might have just been that it was really cold there in Hungary, possibly because they were shooting this winter, I believe. But it is pretty prominent. There you see. She's got the motions down right there. So that's our new Lily Munster. All right, let's meet Grandpa. My friend Daniel Roebuck here taking over the iconic role as the Count. And Daniel explained his excitement on social media at getting this role, being a lifelong fan of the genre and of the Universal Monsters and of the original show, of course. And he mentioned that in Rob's script, Grandpa is referred to only as the Count. And again, in my rewatch, that sure enough, in the very first episode, that Monsters Masquerade, episode 1, season 1, the first time Grandpa is ever introduced, Lily introduces him. She says, "This is my father, the Count," and he's introduced as that throughout the series as well. So here is Daniel as the Count with his shovel, his graveyard shovel. Let's take a look at Al Lewis's original entrance. Still carrying the shovel, does the little stumble, and then kind of happy, kind of a look back. Daniel doesn't quite do the look back. More with the cold smoke. I think it might have just been really cold out there that night, possibly. I mean, I'm so glad that they did recreate this, because if you're going to go through all the trouble to recreate the house and all these sets, why not take the opportunity and try to match up some of the scenes exact? Not that I expect the movie to do a lot of that, but I do expect a ton of Easter eggs, which is why I'm rewatching those original 70 episodes, because I do expect a lot of love and Easter eggs and callbacks. And there he goes. So as far as the look, kind of a new look, a little more facial hair there on the Count this time, but he's still got his medallion, which I noticed in the rewatch. He's always wearing that Dracula medallion. Obviously, it wouldn't be the Count without the giant long black cape, so you got to have that. But he looks pretty good. And again, I mean, if you're not familiar with Daniel Roebuck's work, I mean, look him up. I guarantee you he's appeared in something you've seen, and you probably didn't even realize it was him. He's been in almost all of Rob's movies, and he's always great in them, even in the smaller roles sometimes. It might just be a really small but memorable role. If any of you guys are fans of Rob Zombie's 31, which, sorry, but I consider it a very underrated Halloween horror movie. The opening scene, Richard Brake and Daniel are both just so great in that. Hopper has never watched the show. You should check it out, man. You should definitely check it out. Again, I mean, I grew up, I was born in 1975, in December of 75. So, I mean, the show was initial run what had long ended, but it was in syndication for many, many years. And I remember growing up in the late 70s, early 80s, watching it, reruns of it on TV all the time. And this rewatch is bringing back a lot of those memories and reminding me a lot about it that I had forgotten. But again, Peacock for free for till the end of June. Dr. Gould says Daniel absolutely looks to be the breakout star. He looks like he's having a ton of fun. I totally agree. I think his performance is going to win everybody over, probably more than anybody else's. Like you said, I think this is really special for him. I know it is. I've talked to him. It's been years since I've talked to him, but when I did, we had a great interview, and I'll put that in the description of this video after I'm done here. But it was a great interview, and we talked about his life, and he's one of us. In short, he's definitely one of us. We talked about his scene in Halloween 2 when his death scene, and he talked about how it's all fun and games, and you're making a movie, and that's Rob Zombie and Tyler Mane until they say action, and all of a sudden, here comes Michael Myers coming at you, and you realize, holy shit. I'm in a Halloween movie, and this is real, and here comes Michael about to kill me. It's a great interview. He's a great guy, and I hope to talk to him again this year about this project because I just know how excited he is. So I have to agree with you there. If there's going to be any breakout, and certainly from this teaser, I got to go with Daniel. And again, the look of each of them, it is slightly different. We can see some minor differences here and there, but I think overall, I mean, I'm not looking for an exact recreation as much as we like that as much as possible. I understand that you're going to make some alterations, and here in just a second we'll see the biggest alteration that's going to be made in this feature film version as opposed to this original version. But let's continue with the teaser here. And again, that same font popping up in a bright fluorescent green to fit that slimy font. Now, of course, the original included Pat Priest, which again, we know Pat Priest is in this film. I kind of did expect her to come out after Grandpa there. She has been announced, so that might have been a missed opportunity here, but I kind of feel like they want to kind of hold off on a bigger reveal as far as who Pat and again, I am assuming, I'm going out on a limb and saying that Butch is in this. I'd be more shocked if he's not. But I think they're kind of waiting to make a bigger reveal of their involvement. Even though Rob has laid the rumors to rest as far as Pat Priest on social media and said that she is in it. Now, if she's not playing Marilyn and if Butch, in fact, is not playing Eddie, I think, again, that could lead to some really exciting reveals as far as maybe these are some performers that we might know from other projects. Or if they are reprising these characters, that opens up even more possibilities of how this story could take place with older versions of them. Maybe that's even the framing device that they use here. That it's Pat and Butch as Marilyn and Eddie kind of reminiscing about one of the family's adventures or something. Who knows? But the original does include these two, of course. The original credits does include these two, and there's Eddie. He gets the final shot there. All right, so back to Rob's teaser. We get the title treatment, the fluorescent green slime. All new movie coming 2022. Now in living color. And this part I'll turn the volume up and we can listen to this last bit of the teaser.
Well, now what?
All right. Sorry about that little technical difficulty there, but there we go, guys. That is our new Munsters family. Again, I'm going to turn over here to the live chat in just a minute and get your feedback, and then we are going to look at this interview that Rob did with EW here in just a second. Dr. Gould says, "Now what? Indeed, yeah. I mean, it kind of leaves us saying, let's see where it's going to go after this. This is kind of this definitely, I think, whets my appetite for more. I think I'm open to see more. We don't really know much about the plot of the film. We don't really know anything about the plot of the film. But just from some of the character announcements, I mean, we know they're going to incorporate Herman working at the funeral parlor. Um, that again lines up and tracks with the series. That's where he worked on the original show as well. Hopper says that was a great teaser. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great teaser. I think it that's everything that I wanted to see in this. I don't want to see too much yet. I mean, it's not a full trailer, but it definitely hits home what we want to see. It is going to seriously pay homage to the original show. It's going to have a very similar look, albeit in bright color. Now, let's go over to this interview that Rob did with Entertainment Weekly. It was published today with the release of this first look. And first up, confirming what we had always hoped, what I had hoped anyway, because again, I said in our last video, I was surprised at how many people immediately went into this assumption that this was going to be like some typical Rob Zombie R-rated movie, where it's going to be like Otis Firefly version of Herman Munster. And I never assumed that. In fact, I always assumed the opposite. That no, if anything, Rob is gonna be have such an old school approach with this. And so I was very happy when it was confirmed a few months back that the film is in fact rated PG and will retain that family friendly tone. But Rob spoke on that today, confirming what we had always hoped, that the new movie will, in fact, retain the family-friendly tone of the original TV series. Zombie tells EW, quote, yeah, it's 100% in the spirit of the show. I didn't want it to be different. I wanted to totally retain the vibe that it had in the 60s, end quote. And I love that. That makes me feel very happy about this. And that coupled with all the attention to detail that I've seen, again, I just feel like this is a perfect marriage of filmmaker and iconic franchise. On his cast, Zombie says, quote, I wanted to cast people that had worked together a lot. I couldn't risk getting on set in Budapest and going, my leads aren't getting along. They have no chemistry. So that's why I chose the cast I chose. Jeff Daniel Phillips and Sherry Moon Zombie and Daniel Roebuck, they worked together a lot, and I knew they would just fall right into it. And, end quote. And again, I totally get that. I mean, all of the best directors, all of my favorite directors, they have their favorite people that they work with, whether it's behind the camera or in front of the camera, for these reasons. Because when you have a project, when so much is riding on it, and you have so much you have to do to get done and to execute your vision, yeah, you really don't want to have to worry that this and that may not work. Like he said, these three have worked together in his films many times. They do have good chemistry. I do think Jeff and Sherry had great chemistry in 31, as well as in Lords of Salem. And again, I mean, I'm a huge Daniel Roebuck fan. I think, if you didn't see him play Jay Leno back in the day in the HBO series about Leno and Letterman, I mean, go look that up. I mean, he's in so much good stuff. Huge fan of his. So he's going to knock it out of the park no matter what. But I totally get this. And I know a lot of people always, tend to say, oh, well, why's he always got to cast his wife in the lead of everything? Why's he got to cast his wife and everything? And I don't know. I tend to look at it a little bit differently. Is maybe he married somebody that is actually his creative muse. You know what I mean? Maybe she is his ideal baby Firefly and Mother Myers and Lily Munster. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe he is lucky enough to have found his soulmate. I know that's how it feels with working with my wife. We have a business partnership and, of course, our life, our soulmate partnership. So, I kind of look at it like that, is maybe he found the perfect person to be with, and that's why she is in his stuff, not just because they're married. Maybe he married the person that he could see in every role, in every scenario that he could ever imagine. So there's that. But you guys, let me know what you think. Um, in the same interview with EW, Rob does address what is definitely the biggest difference, or at least the biggest difference revealed in this teaser from of the film from the series, that this new version will bring the monsters into this vibrant living color. And there have been other color versions, the other feature films that did not play theatrical. Only the first feature film, Monster Go Home, did play in theaters. The other three so far were made for TV and aired only on TV. But they were in color. So here's what Rob says. He explains, quote, "I knew that if I went in and demanded this movie's going to be in black and white or forget it, we would not be talking about the monsters right now because it would have never happened. I guarantee it. But what I did do is I made the colors sort of hyper real. I noticed when the actors were in their makeup and they were just walking around getting lunch or whatever, they looked like cartoon characters come to life. They were just so insanely colorful. I was like, I have to like the movie in the same fashion. It really seemed at all times like a live action cartoon, which was really exciting." End quote. So there we go. I mean, he recognized that if he could have had his way, it probably would have been black and white, but he doesn't think there's any way it would have ever been greenlit or funded or released as such. I mean, I guess we could hope and cross our fingers and maybe see a special black and white special edition released on Blu-ray or something at some point. I mean, they did do that with Zack Snyder's Justice League. Uh, so anything's possible down the road, I guess. But you can see his answer here was to go the other way, and this is what Rob Zombie is going to do. I mean, if he's going to go away from the source material in any way, he's going to go far away from it, and kind of make it. Let's not make it black and white. Then we're going to make it so colorful it's a cartoon. Um, but looking at this image, I mean, I like the color scheme here. It does feel hyper real, which I feel like this project has to kind of feel. It's going to feel like that going into it anyway. We're not watching this to see, real life. This is fantasy viewing to begin with. But part of the fun, of course, of the original series is that you do see your real life family reflected in the monsters constantly, because they end up inevitably getting into the adventures that regular families get into all the time. And that's part of the genius of that original show, and hopefully those aspects will be retained as well. But again, we still have no real official plot synopsis released yet. We'll be back to update with that when we do. What we do know is the rest of the cast, aside from these three. We know that, again, Pat Priest has been announced, but Butch Patrick has not been announced, but I believe he's absolutely involved and will be announced very soon. Horror icons, Cassandra Peterson, also known as Elvira, the Mistress of the Dark. She plays a real estate agent in the film. It'll be great to see her in this, and I'm actually excited to see her play something that's not Elvira. As much as I love Elvira and love to see Elvira in anything, and she should be in anything and everything, I'm excited to see her play a different character for a change. I think that'll be cool. And another one of our friends, Halloween franchise alum and just general horror genre icon, Dee Wallace, is also part of the cast. She is playing a radio DJ. And of course, Dee from E.T. as well as Rob's Halloween and so many of his films and so many other great films over the years: Cujo, The Howling,
you name it. She's great, and I'm sure it's going to be great in here. And I mentioned Richard Brake from 31 earlier. You know him also from 3 from Hell. It was great seeing him show up as part of the Empire in The Mandalorian as well. I loved him in that. He is in this film as well, playing a new character named Dr. Henry Augustus Wolfgang. Catherine Schell plays a new character, a gypsy queen named Zoya Krupp. And Jorge Garcia, who I always loved watching as Hurley in the great series Lost. He plays a new character named Floop, a hunchback character described by Zombie as Dr. Wolfgang's hunchback assistant and Herman Munsters' best buddy. And as we reported in our previous update, legacy characters Uncle Gilbert and Zombo are also both back in the new movie. And the MPA has rated Rob Zombie's The Munsters PG for macabre and suggestive material, scary images, and language. All right, I'm going to turn over here to the live chat for a minute. Let's see here. Adventure Industry says, whatever happened to Eddie? Yeah, I mean, I've addressed that a little bit. They've not said. They have not officially confirmed or announced Eddie in the film. But as far as the real life Eddie, Butch Patrick, I absolutely feel like he's going to be in the film. Whether or not he's going to play an older version of Eddie or a new character, I don't know. But yeah, I got a feeling that reveal, the Eddie and the Marilyn mysteries, are going to be announced and revealed very soon. If you go back, that post from a few weeks ago, Rob mentioned that Pat Priest would be in the film. He didn't specifically spell out that she'd be playing Marilyn, but we're going to just have to wait and see on that. But they're going to be part of it. I can tell you. Hopper says, hope you can talk with Danielle again sometime. Danielle Harris. Yeah. Raincorn says, just turn your color off on your TV. Yeah, it'll look the same. Turn the saturation all the way down. Yep. Keith says, I agree with that Rob and Sherry, 2 peas in a pod. I think they do great stuff. Rob is misunderstood. Scout, Taylor Compton, and Danielle Harris both love Rob, and Sherry was very cool. Yep, I agree with all that. Keith? Let's see, who else? Dr. Gould says, I have to say, as far as the color goes, there's a similarity between the intense colors of Creepshow in this version of the Munsters. I would agree. Yeah, I can see that. The intense colors of Creepshow and kind of that comic book feel to it. I like that it's heightened like this. Kind of everything seen through a black light. Again, if you're not going to be able to do the ultra muted black and white and harken back to that, then yeah, why not go the other route? Let's see how far we can push it the other way. Because I think to have just very natural, realistic lighting, that wouldn't be very fitting either. I kind of like what they're going for with this. Again, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to when you're sitting here watching or rewatching 70 episodes of that classic series to see everything in bright colors all of a sudden. But I think it could work. Dr. Gould says, I just hope that at Herman's job there's a photo of John Carradine in character on the boss's wall. That would be awesome. Ian says, of course he casts his boring wife. I got to disagree with you again. I just said my thoughts on that. Dude says, that looks like a lot of fun, right up my alley. Whether every single film or bit of content has been great or not, we've been very lucky these past few years when it comes to the horror genre. Absolutely, I agree. Um, and I know a lot of this is just the age we live in. People are going to hate on stuff and whatever, and people always got something to bitch about with every release. And that's fine. There's room for that stuff. But yeah, I just in general am happy to have this franchise back. I do think it's amazing that the Addams Family and the Munsters. Now, of course, the Addams Family original comic in newspapers by Charles Addams that started in the early 1900s, so that predated everything. But as far as their TV incarnations that made them iconic, these two families started 6 days apart in 1964. That in itself is crazy, and now here it is, all these years later in 2022, and they're both back by marquee name directors in big projects. Of course, I'm talking about the Wednesday series from Tim Burton for Netflix that's coming this fall as well. And now we've got this, a brand new feature film. And it is coming this fall. That's something else that I can confirm. The film is to be released in the fall of 2022. A official release date has not been announced yet. I also received some clarification today. I can tell you that it is not going to Peacock. It is not going to be a Peacock exclusive like was rumored early on when this was announced. From almost the beginning, we were hearing unconfirmed rumors that because this is a Universal property, it might go straight to streaming and be an exclusive on the Peacock streaming platform. But I was informed today that is not the case. It is not going to be exclusive to Peacock. In fact, it's not going to Peacock at all, at least not on its release. From what I understand, it will not be going to any one streaming platform exclusively like HBO Max, Netflix, or Peacock, but instead it's going to be released as a premium VOD digital release sometime this fall. Again, that's what I understand as of today, as of now, as of this live report. That's what I understand is happening, and we should be getting confirmation as far as the date very soon, I would imagine. With this teaser that the marketing is obviously picking up, and now here we are, in June, almost mid-June already, and that means the fall season is literally knocking on the door. So again, I think it's really cool that this franchise is back. I think it's actually cool that the Addams and the Munsters are back at the same time this fall for the Halloween season. I mean, what better time? And again, I don't know if Halloween itself, the holiday, what type of role it might play in this movie or not. But I mean, you look at Rob's filmography, even outside of the two Halloween franchise movies he directed. He also made 31 set on Halloween, and even 3 from Hell takes place on Halloween and the days right after. And of course, his first feature film, House of a Thousand Corpses, is one of my absolute favorite Halloween movies. So more of his movies have been set on and around October 31st than have not. And again, with a brand like this, with it releasing in the fall, I wouldn't be surprised if we get some kind of scene, maybe even a throwback to that original Monsters Masquerade episode where the family goes to a Halloween costume party. It's a great episode. It's got some really funny stuff, and it's also kind of meta, especially considering for 1964, because you actually have one of the host of the party. His costume is as the Frankenstein monster. So essentially he looks like Herman. And then Herman comes as a medieval knight, and everybody loves this giant medieval knight. He takes off his helmet at the end, and everybody's mind's blown because, oh, he's got another costume on underneath. But it's a pretty meta moment for Herman, this show's version of the Frankenstein monster, to be seeing the Frankenstein monster in pop culture in 1964 as a Halloween costume. It's pretty wild. And again, they don't even mention the holiday by name in that episode, but it's pretty much a given. I mean, when else do people have costume parties and masquerade parties? So there is absolutely some history tied in there together. Not just the fact that their whole vibe and aesthetic lends itself to the holiday. They are Halloween every day in essence already, like the Adams are, and just like we are, and just like you guys are that have joined me here today. So that's my breakdown. I'm going to turn over here to the live chat for a few minutes now and see what you guys are saying. And again, I'd love to hear from all of you watching this what you think of this teaser, of this official image, of these new comments from Rob Zombie. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments below, and tell me if you're looking forward to this movie, if you're going to be watching it this fall, or if you're just going to be sitting it out. Either way, I'd love to hear from you, and be sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already so you don't miss any of our ongoing updates on this and everything else we got coming right here to the HDN channel. Lots of cool stuff, exclusive interviews, exciting reveals, all kinds of stuff going on this time of year. So you're not going to want to miss any of that. Let's turn over here to the live chat now. Hopper says, if you talk to Danielle Harris again, tell her I said hi on the video. I want to meet her. Okay. I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can. Let's see. Ryan says it's the year for horror. So many good movies coming out. Oh yeah, so much good stuff. Not just Halloween Ends, which obviously is kind of the most anticipated, I would think, for our audience probably. But so much other good just content. These iconic brands like Adams and Munsters are back. We've got Terrifier 2, which, by the way, if you didn't see, if you missed, Damien Leone did make a small comment on social media recently that film is going to be released this October. So we're narrowing it down. We knew it was coming in fall. He says it's coming this October. Hocus Pocus 2, of course, we've got a release date for that. Dark Harvest, we were talking about that earlier. That's another really cool, brand new original Halloween horror film based on a novel. That looks really great. We've got Netflix's Halloween comedy Boo with Marlon Wayans coming this year. We've got the Sci-Fi Channel original Bring It On franchise spinoff. It is a Halloween horror movie called Bring It On, Cheer or Die. On Disney front, we've got Under Wraps 2, a sequel to last year's Under Wraps remake, a family-friendly mummy movie. And of course, there's that other little one with the guy in the white mask. You know the one I'm talking about. But there's that one to look forward to as well this year. So, I mean, and that's just some of the stuff that we got to look forward to over the next few months. So you are right about that when you say it is a great time to be a horror fan. It's a great time to be a genre fan. It is a busy time for us here at HDN. This is the time when Halloween-related news and all things that we love and cover are getting announced, revealed, uncovered, and put out there. And so we're very busy, but I appreciate you sticking with us and joining us for events like this, because there are going to be more. There will be more live streams. There will be more midday live streams. We're going to keep the Mondays for late night for now. We like doing our Michael Myers Monday live stream at 10:31 p.m. Eastern on Monday nights. If you like what we did here today, you'll definitely enjoy that. That's where it's all Michael, all Halloween franchise. But there's so much news with that franchise and outside happening today, this week, this month. It's just going to get crazy here. So thank you for your support. And be sure to subscribe, like I said, if you haven't already. Think about joining the Halloween Daily Club. It's only $5 a month. That's that join button down there. It's channel memberships. It's a new thing that we were allowed to enable. And it's just $5 a month. It's just another way to help us keep the lights on around here, keep everything going. And you do get some pretty cool perks. You can do custom emojis like Michael Myers and Sam from Trick or Treat and stuff like that. And you get special badges for live streams and comments and all that good stuff. And you'll get to see certain videos early and some other exclusive stuff. If you hit that join button down below, it'll show you everything that you'll get, and you can decide then if you want to do it. No pressure if not. It doesn't change anything as far as what we're doing here for free. You're still going to get everything we've always done here for free and so much more going into this Halloween season. but it is just another way to lend just a little bit of financial support to us, if you feel so inclined. In any case, again, thank you all for being here. All right, I'm going to turn over here to the live chat one more time before getting out of here. Keith says, we'll definitely be watching it. Love the Munsters. Same here, man. And thanks for being here, Keith. Keith says, great job. Always definitely watching. Well, thank you. And Keith, I know you miss a lot of our Monday nights, our later streams, but you're always watching after the fact, and I see you, and I appreciate you, man. So thank you for being here, and glad you could catch this one live. All of you that were here live, I'm glad you could be here and participate in this. Again, this was not announced or even really planned more than about 30 or 40 minutes in advance. So I do appreciate you and appreciate you bearing with me on a few minor technical things during the show as well. Halloween Ghoul says Halloween ends. Hocus Pocus 2. Munsters. Super excited. Lots of good stuff. Hopper's definitely watching this movie. Excellent. Me too. Excited for Stranger Things Volume 2. Yep. Loved Season 4 Volume 1. Excited for Volume 2. Definitely. Who else we got in here? Ryan Korn. Later, Matt. Are you ready? Are you ready? Thanks for being here, Ryan. I appreciate it, man. As always, good to see you here in the live chat. Excellent. Halloween Ghoul says, even under wraps too. Cool. Yes. Like I said, lots of good stuff. And that's just kind of more of the Halloween-based or just iconically horror-based. Because, again, we do step out of Halloween specific when it comes to something that is so big and so already connected to the holiday itself, like the classic Universal Munsters and like these classic Munsters. All right. Again, guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of our up-to-date breaking news reports that we're filing pretty much every day from here on out. And unexpected breaking news HDN live specials like this one. There's going to be more of them. And you want to turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of them. Again, thank you all for watching live, and if you're watching this on a replay, thank you as well for watching that. Share the video, spread the word to like-minded people, let them know where we're at and what we're all about, and I appreciate all you guys. I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you for watching.